Thundersport GB, this is it. Down to the wire time. Morello Services GP1. Steve.
The last race of the season, the Morello Services GP1 Championship comes down to the wire. Ian Mackman here, number 30, looking for a bit of better luck here. He's 15 points behind in the championship. 13 points behind is the defending champion, Phil Crowe, number 1. But it all rests on the shoulders of young Mick Robertson here. He's got a fresh pair of slicks on for the first time ever in this race. And number 99, 13 points championship lead, Robin. This should be fascinating.
Absolutely amazing. Once again, we get to the end of a very full year. 2011 has been astonishing. We've seen so many of these championships coming down to just a couple of points in it. And the very last race, and it happens again, Steve. The very last race of the year, the Morello Services GP1s, and 3 of them in with a genuine shout. Ian Mackman still with a chance, but really between Phil Crowe and Michael Robertson.
Yes, Mick Robertson basically needs to finish 4th or better to wrap up the title. He didn't get off to the best of starts. He was down to about 5th. He's just pushed his way past Peter Baker, but this is a fine time to be testing out slicks for the very first time. You get a completely different feel from the bike. Okay, maybe a little bit more grip, but risky strategy there from Mick Robertson. Let's see if it pays off.
Well, it just goes to show they're throwing absolutely everything at it, and Ian Mackman, who had almost a mare in the earlier race, just got bedded down in 6th place and couldn't seem to make progress. Ian Mackman has got away brilliantly at the start of this one. He leads from Phil Crowe, Mick Robertson in 3rd, and Peter Baker, who's not in this championship fight, but would love to pick up something of a podium in the last race.
Well, Peter's got 4th guaranteed. That won't be good enough in his eyes. And Ian Mackman, well, whatever problems he has had at Mallory Park before, he certainly seems to have overcome them now. He leads from Phil Crowe. Mick Robertson in 3rd. Okay, he'll know that 4th or better gives him the championship, but I would imagine he'll probably be feeling just a little bit nervous, or maybe not, as he weaves in and out around the outside. Surely he's not going to lead. He's run wide. Oh, and he's back up into 2nd.
Well. That was an outstanding manoeuvre. For a moment, it looks as though he got away with it. In a sense, he did get away with it because he slotted in 2nd place, and now he pulls out of the slipstream as they run down to Gerrard's, and he's gone underneath Ian Mackman, and Mick Robertson takes the lead. Mackman 2nd, Crowe in 3rd. Now, what about Phil Crowe, Steve? We saw in the earlier race, and they're long races these, that towards maybe 3/4 race distance, his tyres seem to take a hike, and he was in real problems towards the end. This could happen again.
Yes, but I think this time around, Phil Crowe is managing his tyres. He'll be aware that Mick Robertson has no idea how slick tyres grade throughout the race, and Mick Robertson could easily have the same problem as Phil had in race 1. So Phil will just be sitting there. He knows he's got to win the race and hope that Mick Robertson finishes 5th or worse to be crowned champion once more. But Mick Robertson, well, he's handling his Kawasaki almost as if it was a little 125 GP bike. Fantastic stuff at the front. Sam Hornsey is behind Dan Hegarty, not running quite so well this time.
No, but Sam, of course, out there on the little 600 and having a thoroughly good time, enjoying mixing it with all the big 1000cc machinery. There, Phil Crowe and Peter Baker chasing hard after the 2 at the front. Ian Mackman looking up the inside of Michael Robertson there on the run into Ed Wieners, and that worked. That was beautifully done. That really technically is how to get past into Ed Wieners, isn't it, Steve? Nobody caused any problems, nobody made to sit up. Mackman just did it perfectly.
Well, considering there's 3 riders going for the championship in the last race, there's an awful lot of respect between these 3 guys. That was more like the Ian Mackman that we know and love and that we've seen winning races this year. Peter Baker, desperate to get in on the act. He wants to say in the championship decider, and they're almost 3 abreast as they go into Gerrard's. The speed, though, that Mick Robertson gets out of the final corner, unbelievable.
Absolutely fantastic, and if you want speed anywhere, it's on the run to a start-finish line. And look at this, it is side by side. Ian Mackman giving absolutely nothing away there, and Michael Robertson responding, and he comes out of that in the lead. And look at Phil Crowe just maintaining his own line, letting the others worry about themselves. straight through into second place.
Ian Mackman's just been robbed. He was in first position, he's now back in third, and if he's not too careful, Peter Baker will move up a slot also. It's still Robertson from Crow from Mackman at the moment. Robertson would be crowned champion, and what a way to win it.
Yes, it's interesting though, Steve. We've been talking about this just a moment ago, and this could be the case. What we're seeing now, we're talking about Robertson being out there on slicks for the first time. What we're seeing now is Michael Robertson being pushed to make some fairly interesting manoeuvres. All of that is going to be punishing the tyres underneath him. He's been really made to work in this. He's fighting for the lead when, frankly, he doesn't need to win this race. And, well, he may suffer in the end.
Phil Crow goes through into the lead, and there's a couple of fine laps there from Phil Crow. Really smooth. That is why he's got a #1 plate on his bike. This is what he did time after time last year. He wants his title back. He's probably left it a bit too late, but can Ian Mackman now pounce on Robertson?
Yep, anything could happen, of course, and Peter Baker's still in the mix, and he could take points out of any of the three guys ahead of him. So Crow it is, #1 that wins it.
Ooh, a massive moment there for Phil Crow on the exit at Devil's Elbow. That's not where you want it. Sam Hornsey in the background is making headway on Peter Baker, so he could well have a say late on. Mick Robertson at the moment in second position, just ahead of Mackman.
Yep, Peter Baker there in fourth, and as you say, behind them, Sam Hornsey having got past Dan Hegarty. But Phil Crow under braking for Ed Wieners, keeping it as tight as you can. One of the problems, of course, with Ed Wieners, Steve, is you can't really defend the whole double corner, as it were. You can go in really, really quickly, but then you suffer in the middle of the corner, or you can be nervous and maybe trying to be a little conservative on the way in, and you can get pounced on the exit. You need all three elements, and it is a terribly difficult corner to lead into when you've got guys sitting on your shoulders with the same speed you've got.
Yeah, defend too much into Ed Wieners and you'll get pounced on into Shaw's hairpin. That is guaranteed. Lee Reevely leads the Super Twins. He's back out on his Ducati. I can tell you that Alex Heaton is currently leading the Super Stocks, but at the front here, Phil Crow has pulled the pin. He's going to try and win this race outright, and Ian Mackman now having a look. He lets off the brakes and slings it up the inside. It's really close, but he's up into second.
Yes, that's very cleanly done. Now then, Robertson in third. He led by 13 points over Phil Crow coming into this round. Phil will pick up 25 if things finished exactly as they are now. And Michael Robertson will pick up 16. That's 9 points. So at the moment, it's still just advantage Mick Robertson.
Yes, and Peter Baker has fallen away. This could be heartbreaking for Phil Crow, Robin, because if it finishes like this, Robertson would win by 4 points. Had Phil Crow finished ahead of Sam Hornsey in that earlier race, Crow would have been crowned champion. It's not over yet, anything can happen, but could Sam Hornsey's second position in that race 1 have given the championship to Mick Robertson?
Well, oh, who knows? It's ifs and buts, isn't it, at this stage? At the moment, it's still the critical thing for all these guys. The most important thing at this stage of the season, stay on board that bike. Nobody can afford not to finish the race. They need to be absolutely on the ragged edge while taking care. That's the problem they all face, as we see Lee Reevely there, still leading the Super Twins, and out the front, Phil Crow still leading the race. At least, I suppose, Steve, as Phil Crow sees the last lap flag, he's taken this race in his own hands. He's doing the best he can. He's getting maximum points. He's winning it, and it's devil take the hindmost. If it's enough for the championship, well, at least he's done his stuff, hasn't he?
Well, he wanted this win so badly. He wanted to make Mick Robertson work for the title, and he's certainly doing that. But what a season, and what a way to win the championship this would be for Mick Robertson. Started the season out as the underdog, gradually improves, and then leaves it to the last races of the season to become the championship leader. And he's got a few more corners left. Mick Robertson in third place, and he could well be crowned champion, but this has been a stunning ride from Phil Crow.
Yes, and of course, Phil, he may have had the championship wrapped up if it hadn't been for that huge off at Brands Hatch when he was involved in the incident with poor Greg Lewis, which took Greg out of the championship. But checkered flag is out. It's been a fantastic performance from Phil Crow. He takes the win. Ian Mackman will be second, but Michael Robertson will take the 2011 Morello Services Thundersport GP1 Championship. And Steve, I think he's begun to realise it.
Well, Crowe will be upset that he's lost his crown. Macman fought very hard and was brave in that last race, but Robertson, well, you got to be in it to win it.
Phil Crowe then the winner from Ian Macman, Michael Robertson, Peter Baker fourth, Sam Hornsey fifth, and Lee Weston finishing in sixth. There we see the podium with Phil Crowe, Ian Macman, very happy Michael Robertson. The final standings, Robertson wins it by just 4 points from Phil Crowe, who's 7 points clear of Ian Macman in third. And there we see the Stock 1000 podium with Alex Heaton, Chris Barnes and Jason Bayard. Championship, well, that's been wrapped up by Ian Macman. He wins from Michael Robertson and Alex Heaton. Super Twins, Lee Reevely took the win and is once again the champion of Super Twins. And we see that confirmed. Charlie Flett finished second, Scott Adam finished in third.
Second in that race, third place in the championship, but you are the Superstock champion. What a race that was, Ian.
Yeah, excellent race, really good one to end the year on. Yeah, really made up, to be honest with you, with Chemtol support this year. I've had a fantastic year, TT Privateers winner, Superstock 1000 champion, and as I say, the GP1 was a bit of a bonus if it came, but no, best man won.
And obviously thanks to Chemtol and friends and family.
Yeah, very much so, yeah, Chemtol once again, and I mean, too many to name, Hill Performance, RLR Motorsport, In Front Motorcycles, Motul, loads more that I will have forgotten. Friends and family been able to support me all year. You know, we're a really small, tight-knit team that just turn up and get on with it.
Well done to you, Ian. You've been great for 2011. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Moving on to second in the championship, Phil Crowe. You certainly gave it everything. You won the race there. What was going through your mind? I mean, did you know that it was all gone?
Well, I knew we'd be up against it since the first race. We had problems in this first race and lost a bit of tyre grip towards the end, so we dropped right off the pace. So I knew it was going to be hard work. I knew Mick was either going to have to make a mistake and drop 4 or 5 places behind us, I think. So I kind of knew what it was. So I was going to go out, give it my all, and hopefully get the win and go out the season on high, ready for next year.
And usual thanks to HMT and everyone that supported you.
Yeah, Mark at HMT, Steve at GB Directional Drilling, another big one for this year and hopefully next year. It's Astil BMW at Grimsby. Motorcycle News and Trevor Franklin for all his help with spanners. He's the chief tester for Motorcycle News and he always comes religiously. And a list that goes on forever. I can never get him in, but we always try and get him in somewhere.
Well done to you, Phil.
Okay, thanks.
And now on to Mick Robertson. Mick, you got second in the Superstock Championship, but that race there, third position, meant that you are the 2011 champion of GP1. How do you feel?
Over the moon, actually. I wasn't expecting this, and so hard to ride in that last race. And the things that could go wrong did go wrong, but I finished third and I brought it home, so I'm unbelievably happy.
Did you feel any pressure when Ian came past you towards the end there?
I did, because I couldn't see my board, and then I seen 3 laps to the end. I thought I still need to go. I need to finish 4th or up, and yeah, I held it together and I brought it back.
And people to thank throughout 2011.
Big thanks to Carney's Auto Centre for supplying the bike, girlfriend Amy for always supporting me, Team Wishart for helping me as well, Carney's, Kirkcaldy Kawasaki, Blackbird Corporate. It's big thanks to my mum and dad and everyone else that supports me and all the guys at racing. Superb.
Well done to you. You can go and celebrate now.
Yeah, thank you.